Today, we're going to be talking about Core Share and Core Comms as part of that. But I'm going to hang out for a minute and see how many people we have coming in. There's 12 now. So how's everybody doing today? You guys can chat in the chat box. Adrian's on the back end handling all the chat because I know you guys like to talk. So let's get it going. Where is everybody coming in from today? I know, AJ, I see you. Mr. Netherlands himself. Just, talking about that. AJ does concerts and a lot of, I believe, corporate live streaming with Prism Rack specifically. I have upgraded the room situation. We've decided on a color, and so I've just owned the color, and now it's purple at times here. There's a little bit of red in the corner over here, but we've upgraded, right? Paris. My wife and child were just in Paris for my wife's birthday this year. That was amazing. And then IBC last year, we actually went through Paris as well. First time ever. Love it. So glad to see you here. And Mr. Galing, of course. How could you miss this, buddy? Thanks for the support. Thanks for being there. And Iowa. I've driven through Iowa a couple times, actually. I used to live in Chicago for a little bit. So, in Texas. We always go to Texas. Texas is where it's at, right? All right. So, looks like we have about 16 people on now. And so I'm going to get started with this presentation. So let me share my screen, pick the right window so I don't give any trade secrets away, that good stuff. So, hello, Toronto. Welcome, Canada. So today we're going to be discussing Core Share. Core Share is the new transition that we've gone to from Core TV into more of a broader platform that's going to cover a couple different things that I'll show you today. So thanks everybody for being here. I'm glad to see that we have some familiar faces, and this is what we're going to end up covering today. What happened to Core TV? Why did we get rid of it? Where did it go? Are there parts still there? So I'm going to cover that real quick. We're going to go through the features of Core Share, how to set up a workspace in Core first so that you can start the process, how to connect your Prism device, excuse me, and how to connect mobile and desktop applications to Core Share as well. We're also going to talk a little bit about external audio devices and connecting those, like a Scarlett 2i2 or a Mo2, or I have a Rode AI1 back here that I've been using myself. So we'll go through that as well. And then before we get to Q&A, we're going to go through an entire live feature walkthrough, which I am going to actually have audience participation through this. So right now, send me an email. I have a window up over here. I know this isn't the most seamless thing, and I know Mike's head is like starting to explode because as he gets more and more nervous here. But yes, we are going to do it live, and you all know what that means. Variables, right? So send me an email at my email address here. This is my Teradek email. Download the app using the QR codes, or if you want, you can go to iOS or Android platforms and download the applications directly. Just search for Core Share Teradek, and you'll get right to the application for your device. So send me an email. I'll invite 2 people to this. I'm not going to invite everybody. This is going to get out of hand if I start bringing everybody in here. So I'm going to invite 2 people that I pick, and you'll receive those invites, and I'll show you how to use those a little bit later in the live demo. So moving on. So Core TV had been around for a long time. People were used to sharing workspaces and developing connections there to send to either an SMS device, via email, or just direct link where you can look at live feeds and streams and actually comment with text chat, pretty much through the entire platform. But we had some ideas, we had some vision that we wanted to hit that didn't really incorporate what we currently had with Core TV. We also took some customer feedback at the same time and looked at, the holistic view of running Core, Prism, and Core Share, this monitoring and feedback tool all together at the same time. So we wanted to make sure that those things were working in sync, and part of that was getting rid of the old stuff and the old platform that we had been using, and developing on something that we can use into the future to provide a lot more usability functionality for the customer. So that's why, very simple. We didn't hate it, right? Nobody really hated it, but we just wanted to move on, do something different, add more features to it. So we've cleaned it up a little bit and made it hopefully a lot more usable. So the features that we currently have are hardware, and the biggest one is hardware enabled comms. So it replicates something that we had on the Cube devices, where you could connect to IFB and connect device to device and talk back to master control, or talk back to your camera operator, somebody in the field, and be connected with that person in near real time. And so we've actually brought it all the way down to the Prism device itself on the hardware, utilizing on the rack the line in and line out on the back of the rack. You can utilize the line in, line out for flex and mobile, as well as the headset on some of these as well. So, but the biggest overall gain here is the USB capability with the mobile and the flex, both. Extending this, and we'll get into this a little later, extending this audio capability out a little further, you can attach headsets like this to the device. And this is a $20 headset on Amazon. The mute button works on it. You can stop and start your volume and do a lot of different things on that. So it's a very nice, easy connectivity that we now have back on the device. This is also low latency AV monitoring as well. So Core Share itself has been built to have a multi-window. You'll see 6 and 9 window multi-views that have ultra low latency and low latency video monitoring back to either your phone, an app, or your desktop application. So you can monitor multiple feeds at one time and direct your crew how you need from wherever you're at. On top of that is an ultra low latency audio platform. So this audio communication core comm that we've gave it the nomenclature core comms, and that's how I'll refer to it, as a sub 100 millisecond audio delay, ultra low latency audio delay system that you can talk back and forth between people. So everybody works as a party line, and you get to mute and unmute yourself as you need to, or people see fit, right? Future things that we did want to build into this are live video contributions. So we're looking at extending the video contribution down to the phone and to the device, so you can contribute into Core directly from there, directly from Core Share. And so on top of that will be a graphic orchestrator that lives in the cloud as well. So we're building out a lot of functionality in the cloud that will allow users to mute and unmute devices at the far end, patch people together, and make sure that your entire production is all on the same page within the same platform. So that's the future goal for this. Right now, we have these tools that you can use for monitoring and direction, and we'll get into those a little bit further. So setting up a workspace. If you're familiar with Core TV, it's about the same function, but I'll go through it anyway. You want to make sure that all of your hardware devices are linked in Core first before you do this. And then you can make sure that all of those devices don't necessarily need to have an input in them, but they need to be linked to Core so you can associate them with the workspace. So under the Core Share tab, add a workspace. You name the workspace. Let's see if I can. No, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to read through it and then I'll do the live thing. So let's cover this real quick. I was going to show you, but let's not go off the rails here. So you want to click on the Core Share tab, add a workspace, name the workspace, and select the appropriate options. And I'll show you those options here in a little bit. Once you create that space, go in and click the meatball menu. And if you're not familiar, the meatball menu is the three dots vertically, the vertical three dots. So you click the meatball menu and you add your sources there. That's why I'm saying having your sources added first is ideal, because then you can just drop them into the workspace. So from there, you can, once you've added your sources, you click OK, and then there's a share dialog that you can share via SMS, email, or just create a private link and send that link out to whoever needs to connect. The options there further are, you can watermark this, so you can make sure that your content doesn't get out, nobody's doing screen grabs or anything, and it will watermark it with whatever the email address is that you send it to. You can also allow and disallow access with an expiration date, so you can set an expiry date on this, and nobody will be able to connect after that. And then if you don't want audio access, you can completely turn audio access off from this if you just need somebody that needs to monitor and doesn't really need to contribute any verbal action to it. So next, on your Prism. So once you get Core Share connected and you have your Prism device in the workspace, this is a lot here, and I'll make this deck available afterwards. We can send this out to everybody because I know this is a lot of steps, but this is how we can go through it. Once you're in a workspace, you'll be delivered an email, and in that email will contain a code, just like we use a quick code to connect and link devices. If you browse on the device, when you browse to Core Comms on the tab and click link to device, then you can enter the email and the code that was sent to you, and that will connect the device into the workspace. From there, you have a couple different options depending on what system you're on. So if you're on a Prism rack, you're only going to get line audio in from the back, line in and out. But if you're on a mobile or if you're on a Flex, you have an option for USB, line in, line out, as well as headset in and out. And that's a mic level input output, whereas the line is obviously a line level input and output. So once that is connected and you hit save, you can join that call directly from the UI, or you can go through the front panel device of the device and actually hit a button, hold a button for 3 seconds, and it will join and unjoin a call. So we'll look at this in person in a minute. The different mic types that we have, the ones that I've covered, the USB-A connection on the Prism Mobile will take a headset with mic mute function. The analog to digital converters need to be less than an amp draw on the USB, and it's usually only the USB versions that are self-powered or bus powered. So you don't want to add too much voltage to this. There is a protection circuit on both the Prism Mobile and the Prism Flex, so don't worry about blowing up your board or anything like that. We've thought about that as well. Line in and line out is available on the rack. Like I said, it's also available on the Prism Mobile and the Prism Flex, whereas the Prism Flex and Mobile both additionally have a headset connector as well. So make sure you get the right one if you're trying to connect line level versus mic level input. Connecting on a mobile device. These are the same QR codes that I put up earlier for the participation invite, but you'll download the application onto your device and log in with the same email and code that was sent to you, just like you did on the Prism device itself. After that, if you have multiple workspaces and multiple organizations, you'll select the proper organization and workspace that you need to log into, and it will log you into and connect you to that workspace. From there, you have some options to connect and disconnect and mute yourself within Core Share and Core Comms. But that's how you would do it on a mobile device. This also works with earbuds and Bluetooth devices that are connected to your phone. So if you do have a Bluetooth headset or earbuds, something like that, that you want to monitor wirelessly, it will work with Bluetooth audio devices. Connecting on a desktop. One second here. So connecting on a desktop. Right now, we currently have a Mac OS version in the App Store, and connecting through that is similar to these other apps. You will connect with the email and the code that was sent to you, and it will pull up a similar version as the iPad. So if you look at the iPad version of this, or say a tablet version on the Android store, the Mac OS version is similar to that as far as form and function. So other than that, it's pretty straightforward. External audio devices. Like I said, bus powered external audio devices, less than an amp draw. I've tested personally a Motu M4 and a Rode AI1. Both of these are pretty inexpensive. The Rode AI1 is less than $130. The Motu's a couple $100, but it's a 4-in, 4-out. So what it will do is it will only attach, if you have a multiple in and out, it will only attach to the first bus in and out. So currently there is no version right now where we have any control over bus assignment or anything within these external devices. So it would just be the first channel in and out. One thing with this I do want to call out is connect your device first and then power on the unit. I mean, most of us probably get that, but just to be on the safe side, don't plug or unplug until we actually do some field testing with this, and hopefully there's no issues here. But again, we have circuit protection on the device, so it doesn't really warrant any worry. So all right, so this is, I think, the part that everybody's waiting for. And we all know how it goes when we do it live, so a little forgiveness would be great. I'm going to stop sharing here, and now you get to see me full screen, which is I don't know why anybody wants that. So what I have right now is our Teradek core account. And again, I think Mike's head just smoked. But what we're doing here is we have enough inputs that I can show multiple inputs. So you have your sources connected, right? So the first step of this is having sources connected to this and then clicking into Core Share. Core Share is where you can set up these workspaces. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a brand new workspace here, live. So live workspace test. I always want to display the sources, and whenever there's a file that gets added or recorded in that's associated with your device, you can set it to always show those files as well, so you can play the files back. And then share files added to the workspace. So if you add more to them, then you can show those as well. Let's do that as well. So now I have live workspace test here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of my sources to it. And I have sources here. Add sources. So I'm going to take my Portland sources here, Portland, and I believe this one, let's do 3. And now we have 3 sources, 3 encoders within our workspace. And what we'll do is I'm going to share this to myself. And since we already established that this is my email address, it doesn't really matter if you see it again. So I'm going to include voice and text chat. I'm also going, let's see, you can select only text chat, and that just limits it to no voice at all. You can actually, I'm going to set an expiry date here, and I'm going to put it way out to, let's just say, the end of the month. So I don't forget that I don't need this space anymore. So I'm going to send this invitation. Now, I'm going to go to a different window because you guys don't need to see all of my Gmail account. And I'm going to go over to stop sharing this, and I'm going to start sharing Core Share app from Mac OS. So here we go. Here's the Core Share app. What I want to do here is I'm going to log out the same email address. I want to log out because I haven't authenticated with this latest code. So what I'm going to do is copy the code from my email address that was sent to me, sent to this email here, and I'm going to paste it there and log in. Now I have the live workspace test here underneath this account with 3 sources. Oh, my workspace is not shared with me anymore. That's fun. Let's try this one here. Hey, that one seems to work. So we have 5 feeds. You can see that this transmitter here is offline, so it'll show all of your live feeds that are assigned with the organization of the workspace that you're in, whether they're online or offline. So if you think that this one needs to be online and it's offline, then there's your problem. What I'll do is I'll bounce over to a multi-view and get rid of this feed here. So down here at the bottom of Core Share, once you get into the multi-view mode, and you can select multi-view modes up at the top. There's a 2-box mode here, but each one of these is going to give you some functionality and some controls at the bottom of it. This will select different cameras for each pip that's in the multi-view. And so I'm going to take this one and switch it over to my transmitter from here, from Portland. Oh, cool. Right in time for commercials for Jack in the Box. You love it. Oh, sorry. I'm loving it. No, that's something else. Once you have your feeds up, I'm going to get off of this commercial and go to a 3-box. Once you have your feeds up, you can actually play with, and this comes in, this tool here is very handy when you're doing monitoring or multi-machine monitoring or something on the engineering side or the industrial side of this. You can actually go in and magnify certain areas if you turn the magnifier on, certain areas of the video to make sure that you can get in close and that person is who they are, or that truck is what it is, etc. That machine's doing what it's needing to do. And just by turning this on and off, you can do that per window. So if I wanted to go back to here, and let me throw some other stuff in there. We can use that, select this window again, and turn the magnifier on for this window, and look at the feature details here. There are also some tools for saturation that you can adjust if you need to tune the saturation down for whatever reason. Those tools are included with Core Share. You can always change our multi-view here as well and go all the way up to a 6-box live feed. If you had 9 sources in Core, you could actually go up to a 9-source window and monitor all of those. It's only going to show you as many multi-view layouts as you have inputs. So if I only had 3 inputs, it wouldn't show me the 4 or the 6-box because there would be no reason to do that. I'm going to come back here to our Workspace window. Our Workspace window is where you can join Core Comms. And in this demonstration, you can join Core Comms here, just at the very top. This is also where you can pop out the chat, and the chat will stay within this workspace itself. Once you join, you can see how many users are actually online at one time. Mute your output and your microphone input as well. So you have some control over this. Any recordings that happen within these sources will show the recordings tab. Since there hasn't been any recordings yet on any of these sources, nothing is showing yet. So one more thing that I'd like to show before we get going here is how we can connect on the Prism devices, which I know we talked about, but we didn't see. So I'm going to go through that on a Prism Flex that I have here in the lab. And I believe it is this one. Yeah. And I'm going to set this back to 0. Core comms, I'm going to unlink this device so you can see this from the beginning. This device should already be linked to core. If it's not already linked to core, then it can't be put into your workspace. So that's one step. If anybody needs any instruction on how to link devices to core, there'll be another QR code, and you can actually find that within Teradek guides on teradek.com. There is a specific core breakdown, and it'll show you how to attach devices to core, attach to core comms, and use core share as well. So linking with core comms. Excuse me. So you should come to it like this. You'll click link this device, and you'll enter the email address that the invite was sent to. And then you'll enter the same code. Now this code should be different per person. I'm using the same code because I'm just one person, and all of this will work together. So I have multiple workspaces that I'm assigned to, and within one organization. So it'll show me both workspaces that I'm assigned to. And since we've joined this core share demo, I'll connect to that one as well. So it'll show you that I'm connected to the organization, the workspace name, I'm ready to go, and I'm ready to join the workspace call. Now you have a couple different options on this because it is a Flex. It has analog inputs as well as a USB input. I'm going to select USB, and I have my Rode AI1 connected to this here. Check, check. We can also monitor the talk back off of the headphone jack on any analog to digital converter. So if you're in a control room, say I'm in a control room, I have a handheld mic here, and I have some nice Sony cans that I can put on, and I can talk to any of my operators. So I'm going to click join the call. I joined that call there. Shows that I am the only caller in the room. Nobody else has joined this call yet. So that's as easy as it can be. You need to leave the call first if you need to go to analog, mic in, or line in, and then hit save first before you do that. So it'll actually switch it over in the hardware to make sure that it's ready to join again. And then we hit join again, and you can join the call. Somebody else. Let's go back to this live webinar deck. Yeah. So hopefully that didn't raise more questions than solved them. If you guys have questions, please let me know. I will let me share it with the people that sent me an email. Hey, Adrian sent me an email. Send him an email. And so hold on, Adrian, it'll come to you here in a second. There we go. And let me send Albert, sent one in as well. Let me add Albert as well, copy. Share with more users. Send an invitation. Now, we should go back to Core Share itself on the desktop and see these people log in. That's the goal, yes. All right, so whenever those people get in, let's answer some questions. I know there's probably some questions over here. And we'll give them some time to jump into the live chat. So who do we got? Who do we got? Who do we got? Tried finding in macOS, doesn't show up. Okay, let me check the App Store, make sure that it's actually in. It has to be in the App Store. I'm actually running it on my machine, as we can see. But if you search Teradek or Share, yeah, should be able to find it there, hopefully. But there's no other questions. So I'm either really boring and nobody's paying attention, or I'm very thorough and I'm not leaving anything out, which, you know, that's a good sign. Give me a thumbs up. Give me something to say, hey, you know, we get this, or hey, what are we using this thing for? Why is it here? You know, the reason why I wanted to send it, wanted to build this, is that I've personally been in places where I needed to communicate with my camera operators somewhere else, Bakersfield or in Chicago or across the Atlantic somewhere. And to do that effectively was a pain, either on a phone or Discord or something else that was very high latency and did not really work with the needs that the immediacy that camera operating and direction needs. So that's why we went this direction, and we included this back into our devices, because you need to have that connection with your crew if you're going to make anything that's live, that's worth it, and that everybody's going to love. So be very easy to get any person on set quick screen other than giving them a wireless screen. Yeah. And you can use this on your phone, like I said, or a device or something easy that everybody has in their pocket. And that's great. So Prism Mobile and USB-C with an audio device. Yeah, that's actually what I have. I don't know if I should do this live or not. Switch my video input. Should we do it? I do have a phone. I can show you. Let's see if this is going to work. I'm not going to go down. I won't go down, but let's just see if this totally, hey, look at that. Look at that. There's my little stand for my phone. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing so you can see this. So this is a Prism Mobile, or sorry, Prism Flex, right? That is hooked up to a Rode AI1, and that is using USB-C bus power, straight to USB-C bus power in the back of the Prism Flex. You can do this on the Flex. You can also use the USB-A on the back of the Prism Mobile. I don't have that connected yet. I just actually pulled that cable a little bit ago. But it does power everything up to a Mo2 M4 like this, in case you needed some extra inputs or you already had this device on hand. So, all right. This is my rudimentary switcher in, hey, look at that. That's not bad. It's not a seamless switcher, but it does switch and it does work. So hopefully that answers your question, AJ. Did anybody get any of those invites? You should have. You should check your email. Maybe check your spam mail too, because I don't see anybody logging in yet. So if there are any questions further, please let me know. We are standing by, waiting for any sort of challenge. Challenge me. Let's go. Let's do this. We're here, right? Core app says, welcome. Teradek TV. We don't have any projects yet. Well, the Core Share app or the Core, you don't want to be in the Core app itself. You do want to have the Core Share app, which is a different app. And it has a black background. It just says core share on it. Should be pretty easy. All right. I don't see anything else. If there is anybody else that needs an invite or star app, not the star. See if we have any other invites over here. Yeah, Adrian, I sent you yours. Hopefully you're still on there and watching. The code was invalid. All right, I can send you a new one. That's the easy part of core share. Say your end user lost their code or it doesn't work anymore or they can't find it. You can go in here. That was everybody's email address. I'm sorry ahead of time. And resend it right here. Resend invitation. So that went out again. Okay. Well, for now, let's add my boss. How about that? Share. CS dot. Here's what happens when you do it live. Shouldn't have done it live. Shouldn't have done it live. But this is how we learn. Yeah. Which is okay. Let's share with more users. We're still in the Q&A. I'm going to resend that also to Adrian as well. So you should be getting a new invite, Adrian. Let's bring this down. Let's go back to look at that. Who do we have online now? Right there. Now at the top, you can see Mr. Gailing himself, the head of live production over here, Teradek, is connected. We show two different users connected. And he can chat together. Hi, Mike. And Adrian's in here too. Hey, Adrian, how you doing? So if you're working with a production company, you have a couple different feeds up. You can tell them, you know, let's clip that last one. Camera 2. Let's flip the last. If I can spell last. This is why it takes forever to make these decks and stuff. I don't spell well. Flip the last 30 seconds and send to graphics. Boom. Yay. Communicate with your entire team and view all of your sources at one point. All right. Now that we have a full working demo, are there any other questions? Can you record something to the Nest workspace? Yes. So if you record on a device, so you have a Prism Mobile or a Prism Flex that you are recording proxy clips to, either SD card or external, as those clips get populated into Core, then they will populate down to these devices and Core Share. If you have that enabled, so we can enable that and disable that as needed. And if you wanted to populate those clips, those recordings down to your Core Share folks as well, you can do that. Okay. So if there are no questions, here are some more QR and some noise to look at, which just looks like noise at some point. For the Core Share guide itself, if you want more information on Core Share, and Core Comms. If you need to download the applications, you can download the iOS and Android applications using this, or within the downloads page of Teradek. So if you go to teradek.com and look at support and downloads, you'll find those as well. For now, thank you very much for everybody coming in and viewing this. And if you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to email at live@teradek.com. And obviously you've seen my email and a couple others. They might have some answers for you too. Go talk to AJ. But no, hit us up if you need anything. And I appreciate everybody coming in today and checking out Core Share. Thanks a lot.